Welcome everyone to session 5 of A Time to Harvest, the Call of Cthulhu campaign. Up to this point, we have played college students from Miskatonic University. We were on a field trip to Vermont, to Cobb's Corners, a small town, looking for both geological samples of a rare, recently discovered mineral called Pasqualium, and also local folklore for two separate projects. And during our roughly 5 days there, we met with disaster. A year ago, the same field trip met with disaster as well, in which at least one student was found dead and two others had gone missing. Fortunately, none of us met an untimely end, but we did find one of those students, John Jeffries, who had somehow inexplicably been fused with a stone archway in the middle of this sugar maple forest near the farmhouse in which we were staying. We also had a strange occurrence. We found some human bones in the flower garden of this house, as well as the stories told by the locals were quite fascinating from a lore point of view, but also somewhat terrifying because it sounds like a lot of children have gone missing or die at an early age. And there were many explanations for what was happening here, ranging from a witch to werewolves to vampires. But then our last night there, we encountered something. In a fog, in a mist, we encountered strange, multi-legged creatures, as roughly as large as a human, but somewhat insectoid in shape, and they had wings along their backs, and they carried some strange device that sprayed out a mist of spores that seemed to render people, we probably thought dead, but perhaps unconscious, because we later saw those same people. We managed to get away by foot and by car, picked up by the local Deputy Cutter, who took us back to the jail and then instantly accused us of drunkenness. In fact, he could smell the alcohol on us. Well, this was because Julian had smashed a bottle of whiskey, and some had gotten on him, but the smell was there, and so Deputy Cutter arrested us for public drunkenness. And then Robert Blaine, one of the other students, came in and confirmed that we had been drinking, and which we knew to be a lie. And a few of our colleagues that we had been working with came in and seemed to back up his story. And so we spent the rest of that night in the lockup until Professor Harold could come to get us out. Here's Professor Roger Harold. He showed up. He was beside himself with anger over what had happened, that we had sullied the good name of the university and perhaps ruined any further efforts in Cobb's Corner by Miskatonic. And so we were sent home in shame, by ourselves, curiously not with the other students who presumably he wanted to meet with and try to reassure Cobb's Corners that this was not what they should expect from Miskatonic. When we pick up the action, we are, it's roughly August 12th, and the next little stretch here is going to take roughly 20 days, between August 12th and September 10th of 1930. September 10th is when the fall semester, the fall term, will start at Miskatonic, and so this is the last couple of weeks before the start of school. And many of us will be on campus, probably wondering what in the hell happened, but also trying to rebuild our reputations. And where we pick up the action is in an office at the campus, and the office is that of the Dean of Students, Marinius Bricknell, and Dr. Bricknell reprimands us severely for what he has considered to be our inexcusable behavior. He informs us that our arrest and public drunkenness will go on our public record at the university. One more mistake, however small, he says, will result in immediate expulsion from the school. And for Jebediah, who is a member of the faculty, he gets the same speech, but this is from University President Dr. Harvey Wainscott. And instead of expulsion, your reputation and other academic livelihoods are threatened. After being chewed out suitably by both the Dean of Students or the university president, you are released from that meeting and told to watch your step. Now, despite your best efforts, gossip is bound to get around campus concerning the trouble that you are in. In fact, the first time you set foot in the Orne Library or any other building that might be frequented by people that you know, there are whispers, there's jokes and strange looks, and you see people pointing at you. And even Professor Jebediah, you see professors pointing and whispering as they look at you and speak hushedly to themselves. And many of the conversations fade to a conspiratorial whisper or even die out as you walk by. Now, currently, 4 of the 5 of us are hindered by indefinite insanity. We have met or exceeded our daily limit of sanity loss and have entered into an indefinite insane state. This means that you are always on the edge of underlying insanity. This means that any single loss of a point of sanity or a failed sanity roll will result in another bout of madness. And this is a serious hindrance to your progress as students or even investigators in the game. And so there are options in the rules where you can be free of the burden of indefinite insanity. One of those is to get professional help, to go spend a month in a mental hospital or under the guidance and counseling of professionals. Another is self-help, where you spend a scene with something that's important to you. This could be on your character sheet as a meaningful location or significant person or a treasured possession. And you can role play a brief scene with that. And then according to the rules, you would then make a sanity roll. And if you role play the scene well, you get a bonus die. And then you regain some sanity as well as eliminate the threat of indefinite insanity. There's also in the rules, the keeper, myself, I have the option of, for the sake of the game, just saying enough time has passed, you feel better, kind of thing. I want to do kind of a combination of those two. I want you guys to have the opportunity to role play an encounter, and I will have you make a sanity roll. If you fail, you won't lose any sanity, but if you pass, you will gain some sanity points. And then regardless of pass or fail, your indefinite insanity will be gone. If you fail that sanity roll, not only will you not get any bonus sanity points, but I then am free to tinker with that treasured possession and change your relationship to it irrevocably. And so I'd like to give you all the opportunity, those that want to do that. And Julian, you're not indefinitely insane, but if you want to spend that time, you can still make that same sanity roll to potentially get more sanity points. So is there anyone that would like to go first and maybe role play a brief scene with at your meaningful location with your significant person or with your treasured possession? If not, I will choose someone. Jebediah, as the senior member of the group here, would you like to go ahead and start? Jebediah, are you with us? Why don't we jump to, well, in fact, I'm not sure if Luke is with us yet. He might still be.
Hello,
Oh,
I
oh,
am.
Luke is here. Excellent. Luke, would you like to go ahead and have Gerald roleplay his brief encounter?
Yeah, definitely. I've thought about this quite a bit. Yeah, so I don't know how much time would have passed between the events of
So
the last
we
session.
have about 30 days, or excuse me, 20 days that we're working with, and so it can be at any point in that 20 days. So a part of why I'm having this be a, if you do this, you get rid of the indefinite insanity because a significant amount of time will pass.
Right. Yeah. See, and that makes sense. I think when we got like put in that cell, Gerald was so relieved. He did not really even care about the whole we're drunks or whatever. He just wanted to get out of that town.
Right.
So, coming back was probably a relief. And I think he rested quite a bit for some time. But, eventually he finds himself with questions, as I'm sure everybody does. And he goes to his place of comfort, his. Uh, meaningful location. For Gerald, he's always found comfort in philosophy, in the idea that everybody has, existential questions from Greeks thousands of years ago to us. Well, thousands. Well, yeah, thousands. Jeez.
Thousands. Yeah, almost
Yeah.
3,000 years and counting.
Yeah, well, that's crazy to think about. So, that's where Gerald finds himself. He likes to just find a random book that he's read before and open it up to some particular page and see if that gives him any wisdom and comfort.
Why don't you give me a philosophy roll? That's under your science skill. Oh, excellent. That's a hard success. You come across a few passages that speak of uh, the purpose of life, and Schopenhauer. You find he postulates that life without death has no meaning, and so perhaps this brush with death that you've had, you find it instills a certain sense of meaning into your life. You're not just randomly going about things, but that you've now seen that your choices may or may not reflect the end result of your life, but that you are perhaps cast upon a wave, drifting where you will, and so your worldview may be somewhat shaken, but it may change through this as well. And give me a psychology roll as well.
Ooh.
Ooh, yeah, not good. So, um, this probably gives you some sense of closure, but when one door closes, another opens, and one of these issues may have to do with your fear of cats, and you encountered those strange furry creatures. They were not cats, but they were sentient, and they were, some of them used tools, and Julian destroyed one of them. But when you encountered that, that was a very troubling experience for you. And give me a library use roll as you go through books looking for information on, the cats in mythology or cats in lore. Oh, excellent. Well, you find some information about the ancient Egyptians, that they even had a god for cats, and they saw that cats could be magical in a certain sense, and it was not uncommon for cats to be mummified with other people. In fact, there was a thriving business in Egypt where people would go and purchase mummified cats to place into tombs or into burials with their loved ones, in the hopes that these cats might convey some sort of protection to them. And so you've had this fear, yet it sounds like through the ages cats have been guardians in a way. And upon reading this, how does this change Gerald's thinking, or does it?
I think In a way, I think it's almost like I think he might latch on to the religion aspect of it, the cultural, Egypt is one of the oldest civilizations, conquered many times, but they had very particular beliefs, including what was it, Bast,
It was,
something like
yes,
that, the cat god.
absolutely. In fact, since you knew that, I'm going to check your anthropology box. You just get a free improvement roll on
I
anthropology.
like
So,
mythology.
yes, absolutely. That was awesome. Give me that sanity roll, and you can add a bonus die to that.
Ooh.
Okay, so that's a fail. So you are no longer indefinitely insane, but you do not get the benefit of gaining any additional sanity points.
No, that was a long shot.
Yeah, and your sanity is like 32, so it's tough to beat that. But you are no longer shackled with that. Although your daily limit is 5 points, so you are still on the knife's edge of potentially losing that sanity. Well done. Let's go ahead and jump to Jebediah. Are you with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah. Would you like to role play your scene out for us with your
Sure, I
treasured
think.
possession or significant person or meaningful location?
Sure, I think Jebediah will retreat to his office, a place where he won't be bothered by others gossiping about recent events. So he will retreat there and take a moment. He'll pick up a picture that he has on his desk of himself in the Valley of the Kings in Egypt, where he so very nearly made the great discovery, but alas, Howard Carter beat him to it, and he will forever rue that. But to him, that area is very, very special and meaningful to him, and he will take out his very treasured lighter and light a cigarette so that he can relax and contemplate the last few days.
Give me an archaeology roll as you think back on your missed opportunity in the Valley of Kings. Yeah, you know that, in fact, Carter had failed several times and he was about to lose funding, but he was persistent, and you had hoped that perhaps had he lost that funding, that you may have sought opportunity to step in, but alas, it was not to be. But that didn't halt your your interest in these things, and based on the experiences that you've had, as you've flicked that lighter, tell us, where did that lighter come from?
Well, the lighter he has was a gift from some of those in his regiment during the Great War.
Do you know who that person was?
He doesn't recall. It was so very long ago, and he's mostly tried to block out most of those memories, but his lighter is his one reminder of those days.
And were you an officer?
Yes, he was in charge of a small group.
Um, Give me another roll. This is going to be a psychology roll. Excellent. As you look over the lighter, it brings you some comfort because it represents when people put their trust in you, and you had experiences in the war that that affected you still to this day. Some good and some bad. And the gift of that lighter was a good one. However, there was a particular event that was most troubling to you. And as you recall that event, why don't you describe for me what was perhaps the most troubling event you had in the Great War?
Well, yes, of course, this likely would bring that back to him when he peered over the edge of his trench, and he could see the mist over the no man's land, and that's when the shelling began that still brings him great discomfort. The occurrence of loud noises.
That mist, which did it turn out to be mustard gas?
In fact, it did. Yes.
You
Quite
encountered.
a
Oh, sorry.
troublesome
go ahead.
thing.
You encountered a similar mist your last night in Cobb's Corners, and those creatures came out of that mist and assailed you. And perhaps there's something with that mist. That same feeling that you had there in the Argonne Forest likely returned that night. You were at I think it was the Broken Hill. You were with the excavation group on that particular night. And that mist was most troubling for you. Did you order any men to their death that night?
Rather, I think that Jebediah's lack of action is what led to the death of many on that particular evening.
Ooh, I like that. Give me a persuade roll as you relive that scene. And in your mind's eye, you say, if only I had told them, if only I had been adamant about it. And so you replay this scene in your mind as you see this gas coming, and you order, the masks to be put on. And then you turn to your men, and they look at you. What do we do? What shall we do? And you freeze in that moment. And you've replayed this scene over and over again. Please push that persuade roll as you, in your mind's eye, you know how you win arguments after the fact. You go through and say what you should have said at that time. And still you found that you lacked the force, the charisma needed to get those men to safety, and because of that, many of them died. And as your eyes begin to moisten, you look back down at that flame in your hand of that lighter, and you see that your hand is shaking, and so you close that lighter down. And please give me that sanity roll. And you can add, I should say you can have a bonus die on that, but you don't need it. You got it anyway. So roll 1d6, and you can regain that many sanity points. I'm going to take off your indefinite insanity. Nice. Go ahead and add 6 points to your sanity score, please. And I'm going to, refresh your daily. Why don't we go to Marian? Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. I'll let you play out your scene. What do you do over the next 10 or so days?
Yeah, I think, at the end of the adventure, she definitely was kind of ready to, call it quits, as she'd seen, she'd had to kill her friend, and had kind of seen the administration sort of turn the other way. But when she got back to campus, she was offered her own private lab, which was too tempting to pass up, because she is trying to research a stronger metal for bridges that won't break. And she does kind of remember that, her purpose is, it kind of outweighs, the horrors that she experienced. So she spends all of her time, I think, in the lab just diving into research, maybe also looking into, what was the name of the metal that they found?
Pasqualium.
Yes. I think she probably spends her time sort of messing around with that and wants to learn more about it.
Well, give me a metalworking or smithing roll. It's under your arts and crafts.
Okay.
You begin to tinker with some base metals, and you're testing them, trying to come up with some ideas of, is Pasqualium some, is it something undiscovered, or is it a strange isotope of something else? And you're going through some of the samples that you have, and you're struggling to find answers. But you're dedicated, and you know that, especially in 1930, the for a female to have any sort of recognition in a science trade or field like this, she has to work not just as hard as a male counterpart, but harder. She has to do more, and just to stand at the same level as those men. And so this has pushed you to new heights of effort. And so you don't let the early frustration set in, and please push that role as you continue your efforts.
Right, let's see here.
There we go. And you exhaust the samples that you have at hand. But no matter how much work you put in, you simply cannot find anything in the lab that would fit what Pasqualium is. Either the atomic weight, the specific gravity, the transparency, the crystal structure, the hardness, any of these things, nothing seems to match it, and you decide this must be something completely new. And it's not uncommon for scientific discoveries to be made, but it's curious that here you are at the forefront of this, and you know that Federated Oil and Chemical, they're the ones that sponsored this, and so you began to wonder, does this have applications in perhaps mining, rather than using a diamond drill bit to carve down through bedrock, perhaps a Pasqualium drill bit would work just as well, and perhaps be less prone to breakage, or perhaps it could even be machined or forged, whereas a diamond could not. And so perhaps that's why they're doing this. But then you think about the use in a bridge, and after having survived your own narrow escape with that, you think that this could be superior to steel in certain aspects. Give me a mechanical repair roll, please.
Mm-hmm. Ah, so close.
So close. You go over in your mind's eye what happened on the bridge where you were at in Cobb's Corner, and it happened to be the weather. Whether it may have undermined the bridge, it may not have had anything to do with the structural integrity of the bridge itself, but perhaps that was weathering. Mm-hmm. But your older sister, that bridge, was that determined to be because of either shoddy workmanship or poor materials? Was that like a negligence case?
Yeah, I think it probably was the materials.
Excellent. Go ahead and push that mechanical repair roll as you quickly began to sketch out that same bridge. You've probably sketched this countless times. And there you come up with a different form of cross piece or means of rivets rather than bolts or vice versa, that may make that bridge more stable, and that your sister may not have succumbed to that. And having, through your hard diligence, come to these answers, give me a psychology roll.
Ooh. Oh.
Well, you want to feel empowered by this knowledge, but you know that what's in the past is in the past, and no matter how hard you work, you simply cannot bring your sister back. And that is ultimately where your effort begins to sag, is you realize that I could work all day every day on an answer to this, but I'll never get my sister back. But that doesn't mean that you can't help someone else's sister or someone's mother or daughter. Give me that sanity roll with a bonus die, please. Oh,
Nice.
Excellent. So roll 1d6. You can add that many sanity points, and I'm going to get rid of your indefinite insanity. Nice. Go ahead and tack 4 more points of sanity onto your character sheet, please.
I'll take it.
And then let's jump to Arthur.
Yeah, so Arthur is going to spend some time in the library, specifically the third desk from the window on the second floor. And this desk has been his only friend, his only companion at times when it seemed that no other friends were around. And he's going to take out his most treasured possession, his journal, which contains a series of ciphers that he has made up himself, detailing the history of his triumphs, his failures, and his notes and theories.
Give me a library use roll as you go in and find your favorite desk. Now, what is it about this desk that makes it so meaningful?
Well, he spent much time at this desk when he was lonely. It's kind of like a reserved space for him when he feels isolated from everyone.
When you get into the library and you walk over to this third desk, is it third from the wall, or
The third desk from the window.
third desk from the window? There's someone sitting there, and you don't recognize them. It's a freshman, and they're sitting in your seat, and you need this. What do you do? Do you take a different seat?
Well, I think Arthur is very, he tries to avoid confrontation where he can, so I think he would be forced to choose a different seat.
Give me a psychology roll, please. Oh, that was close. You see this, and you know that no other desk will serve your purpose, but you don't want to cause any sort of commotion or any sort of scene here in the library, especially now that people are talking about you and whispers. And in fact, you hear a whisper, and you turn behind you, and you can see 2 girls, and they're kind of whispering to each other, and they're giving you the side eye. You know they're looking at you. But you go and take another seat. And where do you sit? The second desk from the window is open. Do you take that one next to the seat that you want?
I would be reluctant, but I would take that seat.
As you sit at this desk, you look down at the polished wooden surface, and it's not the same. The other desk, you know the grain, the patterns there. As you work on ciphers, your brain looks for those patterns, and this is completely different, and you feel the beginning of a headache coming on. Now, there's something about the wood of this desk that really just doesn't sit right with you, and you don't know a lot about different types of wood, whether this is pine or what, but something in the back of your mind tells you this is maple, this is sugar maple.
Oh.
And you have a fear now, a fear of forests.
Yeah.
And perhaps this, against all odds, perhaps this desk, this surface came from that sugar maple forest. What do you think about that?
Well, with my newfound fear of trees and forests, I think, possibly being around this same wood that I was surrounded by during one of my darkest moments would freak me out, and I would I would have to leave this desk. I couldn't be around it for much more.
Give me a dream lore roll. You have this new skill, having acquired it through experience in the sugar maple forest. Should be below dodge, or between dodge and drive auto. Yeah, there's something unsettling about this desk. And as you get up and walk away, you look and you see that freshman sitting at your desk, and he's not even working. He's just sitting at the desk, looking out the window, wasting your time. Where do you go, or what do you do?
I think at this point, I would just have to go sit down at the desk. I know it would bring me comfort in this time where I need it most, so I would just ignore that freshman sitting at my table, and I would go sit down.
At which table do you sit?
The third desk.
The same one he's at?
Yes.
As you sit down, he turns and looks at you, and he gives you a strange look like, how rude. Do you give him a stern look, or do you just pull out your books and begin to study?
I'm just pulling out my books and my journal, and I would just be feeling the comfort of this desk and the comfort that it brings me.
You hear the scrape of a chair as he slides his chair out and stands up, and as he walks away, he says something. Give me a listen roll. Oh, nice. With a not just a hard success, but an extreme success, you hear him say, "What a freak," as he walks away. And how do you take that?
I am going to pull out my journal and start writing an entry about how rude that was. And maybe I'm writing it to Rufus, because he'll understand. He knows what it's like to be a freak. He's the only one that understands me.
Nice. Give me that sanity roll with a bonus die. Oh, you got it. Wow.
Yes.
Add roll 1d6 and add that many sanity points. Four. Nice. Go ahead and add that. And then Julian, do you want to take this opportunity to role play something as you get back to the school?
So am I at the school or just on the way?
Well, so what we're doing now takes the course, or happens over the course of about 20 days. So it would be assumed that we would have time to go other places or come back to the school. So you could be somewhere else before this happens. Where would you choose to be?
I'll go to the biggest library.
Would you go to the Orne Library on the campus of Miskatonic, or would you go into
Yeah.
Boston to like the Athenaeum?
I'll probably travel. I'll just stay in the university, I think. I'll probably trust the sources I have there.
Yeah,
And try to look up. Yeah.
And what are you looking up in the library?
Any reference to that frozen world that basically that I sort of had a hint of about where that piece that we found came from.
That one in the
Like
forest?
No, we digged up some. Well, some people digged up some parts of a meteorite that came from frozen world.
Oh, yes. Okay. Give me a library use roll, please. You struggle to find anything about that. It seems as though the section here at the library that you're looking for, the sources are minimal. And there's a book that you want, but it looks like it's been removed or checked out. It's not in the library where you would expect to see it. And perhaps someone else here in the library has it, or perhaps you could check with the librarian.
Yeah, I want to push my luck and push it and try to maybe find it in the restricted section or
Perfect.
like basically, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and push that. So you go and check with the librarian, and they tell you it's not in the restricted section, but that it has been checked out, and it's due to be returned within a few days. We can, this whole thing can take the course of a few days, and so perhaps you bide your time until you get this book, and you look through other books that maybe are adjacent to this information. But eventually the book comes back, and as you begin to check on meteors and meteor strikes in Vermont, there are scant records. It's almost like it rarely, if ever, happens that there's a meteor that has landed in Vermont. In fact, there's one recorded find in all of Vermont. So this could be incredibly rare, what you have found, or perhaps it's not from a meteor. Give me a natural world roll. Oh wow, excellent. Extreme success. As you begin to recall that find, it was determined that was not Pasqualium, but it did seem like it was meteoric in origin. But then you come across some passages that say that it could also have come from, it could have been a metamorphic rock. It could have been something that was transformed in the pressure and heat of the mantle of the earth, or a volcanic process. But it would be strange to find that here by itself. There was not a vein of this rock or a larger sample, just this small kind of fist-sized piece of rock that you found. And so you're almost left with more questions than answers. But one thing that does happen is you begin to get some excitement that perhaps you have made a discovery. This could be something that really drives your future. You have wanted to join an expedition to go to Egypt and to make great discoveries. Well, this wasn't in Egypt, but it sounds like perhaps you have made a discovery of your own. Give me a psychology roll, please. Oh, so close. You want to temper your excitement because you are still young, and you know that you're already kind of the butt of jokes amongst some of the students. And if you were to come out and declare this great find and then see it refuted, well, that could be the end of your academic career here at Miskatonic. And so perhaps you choose to err on the side of caution. But you keep this in your back pocket that, this could be what makes me. Go ahead and give me that sanity roll, please. And you can add a bonus die. Oh, missed it by 4. Excuse me. So you don't gain any sanity, but you didn't have indefinite insanity to lose. But I'm also not going to tinker with any of your backstories. In fact, the only person that I think failed the sanity roll was Gerald. And so at some point, Gerald, I'm going to make a change, and I'll go over it with you. We'll do it kind of after the session as far as what will change on your character sheet. Something to do with with your meaningful location, likely, but I may add some sort of treasured possession that perhaps you hadn't treasured until now. There's a time when Arthur and Julian get together to go over that journal of Jason Trent's. In fact, I've added it to both of your character sheets. It'll show up under books, the journal of Jason Trent, and I've actually gone ahead and made the rolls for you both to do an initial reading on that. So you may have noticed that your English language skill had been checked because you had both passed that roll. But as you go through the journal of Jason Trent, you found that it detailed the comings and goings of everyone on the field trip, and many of them were personal in nature and sensitive in nature, and there was also some sketches in there. But the book also had some spells, like Arthur had found in that other book you had borrowed from Jason Trent. There were, in fact, 3 spells in there, and if either of you want to try to learn those spells, to learn them is a hard intelligence roll. If you pass that, you learn the spell, and then the first time you cast it, you have to make a hard power roll. But the 3 spells that the 3 of you, or that the 2 of you find in there, there is one called the Elder Seal, which activates a symbol, an elder sign. This is expensive. It will cost you 10 points of your power permanently to create this elder sign, but it costs no sanity points. And the elder sign can be formed into a leaden seal, carved in rock, forged in steel, etc. And without the spell, just drawing the symbol does nothing. But the elder sign makes the path or the gate or wherever you put it unusable to minions of the great old ones or mythos gods, as well as to those greater beings themselves. Now, you could put this on a necklace, but that wouldn't protect you. That would protect a few square inches of flesh where the sign rests, because you could remove the necklace, and the rest of your body would be vulnerable. So where you place these is vital. The other spell you find there is called the Black Words. This is a powerful offensive spell, causing physical injury to a target. You invest as many magic points as you want, and half that number in sanity points, and then you make an opposed power roll with the target. If you succeed, the target is subjected to a sudden and terrifying blast of energy, causing flesh to blacken and wither, and they'll lose 1 hit point per magic point that you invest into the spell. The last one is Woeful Agony of the Wretched. This will temporarily incapacitate a single target within 10 yards of the caster. It's another opposed power roll, and intense racking pains will seize the target. The face and hands blister and drip fluid, and the eyes cloud with blood and become temporarily sightless. The target is rendered completely helpless during the period of the spell's effect. During this nearly 3 weeks, would either of you like to try to learn any of those spells with a hard intelligence roll?
I think Arthur would be interested more in the spells that protect him. So I think the Elder Seal.
Okay.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want to make an intelligence roll.
Oh, man. Oh.
So your first attempt at learning this spell eludes you. You can push that roll if you like, but if you fail this, there may be a consequence.
Doesn't he pass, or does he need a hard success?
Yes, you need a hard success.
So do I just roll it again?
Yeah,
Because it
won't let you push it, but I'll let you re-roll it.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's even worse. So, because it wasn't a failed roll, you didn't achieve the level of success that you needed, you don't suffer any sanity loss. However, this spell, you're going to need to gain more expertise in the occult before you can attempt that spell again.
I guess since he's learning Elder Seal, I'll have to learn. I would like to learn the Black Word.
Perfect. Go ahead and give me an intelligence roll. Oh, nice. Got it. Let me throw that on your character sheet. The black words. Nice. That will show up under your gear and cash. Do either of you want to learn any of the others? The woeful agony of the wretched, or the...
Yeah, I'd like to make an attempt on the Elder Sign.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. I guess we just trade notes.
Got it. Let me put that one on here. Perfect. And any others for you, Arthur? Or are you happy with what you have?
Well, what I don't have.
Or with what you don't have? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Okay. Let's jump to the next scene. This is where perhaps Julian and Arthur, you're in the library and you've been going over this journal. And then you see Jason Trent. You see him over in the historical section of the library. And he's looking at some historical book over there. And you've not seen him since the expedition, but there he is. And he turns over, he's turning over pages of a book, and you can hear him just almost with shocked wonder, like, oh, I can't believe it, and just keeps turning pages. And Arthur, this was someone who befriended you, Jason Trent. Do you approach him?
Yeah, I think I would.
You walk up and you just see he's engrossed in this book. It looks like it's about the American Revolution as you get a little closer. And he's reading up on the Battle of Saratoga. And he's just fascinated. He's like, oh, it's almost like he's reading an adventure novel. He's so excited about what's happening in here. Do you say anything to him?
Yeah, I'll say, hey Jason, it's been a while since we talked.
He turns and looks at you. Oh, Arnold, how are you?
Oh, no, it's Arthur.
Oh, sorry, Arthur. Yes, how have you been?
Oh, I've just been, recovering from the expedition, with everything that happened.
Oh, yeah. So, you look well. You look like you're healthy. So.
Thanks.
Yeah. Anyway, nice talking with you. Is there anything you need?
Well, I guess I just wanted to ask, what do you remember about being in Cobb's Corner?
Oh, I remember the stories that we found from the locals. They very interesting things. That whole area, just from the time of the Continental Congress on to through the War of Independence, was just such a fascinating time. Now, had King George had ships of today, steam-powered ships, why, it might have turned out quite different. But no, you Americans, you came out on top. It's just fascinating to read about this.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess what I'm asking is, what do you remember about that last night that we were in Cobb's Corners?
Oh, when you were drinking.
Well, no, none of us were drinking.
Well, I just remember that there was a storm, right? Rain or clouds? Clouds, yes. Quite a lot of clouds, and then I remember that you and some of the others, that Professor Baldwin, you had gone out boozing, hadn't you? You'd found Robert's secret stash of whiskey?
No, that's not what happened, Jason. Do you really not remember?
Give me a persuade roll, please. Nice. And he looks at you for a moment, and you see he blinks a few times, like he's trying to remember. And then he smiles and says, "Oh, sorry, Arnold. It's easy to forget. It's been, a few weeks. I've had a lot on my mind. We were friends, right? You and me?
Yeah, we were.
Yeah. Well, we're still friends, right?
I thought we were.
Great. So, what do you think of the local football team and their scores? It's good stuff, right?
Yeah, I'm not into sports.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were. Well, are you into history? Do you like American history?
Not really, no.
What do you like?
Well, I'm really interested in ancient pottery.
Pottery.
Yeah.
Boring. Boy, Arnold. No wonder you're. People say you're a little bit strange, but I like you just the way you are. Someone has to study pottery after all, and might as well be someone like you.
Right.
Yeah. So, do you know anything about pottery from the American Revolution?
No, I can't say I do.
Oh, well, if you learn something, let me know. Maybe I'll see you around, Arnold. And he gathers up his books and begins to walk away from you.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
Well, he didn't even remember my name, and he clearly doesn't remember anything that happened. So...
You remember how possessive he was
Yeah.
of his books? He didn't even ask you about his books. You
Yeah.
still have his
Mhm.
journal and his book on the witch cults. As he walks away, Marian, you see Clarissa Thurber. And she's sitting at a table by herself, and she's kind of pulling at her clothes. She's adjusting her blouse and pulling on her skirt, and just seems to be very uncomfortable. And she makes eye contact with you and looks at you and says, "What are you looking at?" What would Marian say? Oh, are you there, Alex? Oh, Alex, you're muted if you're talking. Oh, Alex might not be there. We'll come back to Alex. Gerald, you're in the library, and you're sitting in your favorite section in the stacks. It's the area where you seem to enjoy reading. And Harry Higgins, the young Irish chap with the birthmark on his face, he comes over to you and says, "You have made it back from the expedition, yeah? Are you well?"
Yes, well, as you heard, it was quite a tale, but we're fine. Yes.
Yes, quite strange events that happened. They said that you had been drinking, but I don't know about that.
You're wise to question, my friend. Very wise.
So tell me, these books here that you are reading, what do you find to be most interesting about them?
And Gerald kind of like gives him a look like, well, if you really want to know. Well, you see, all of human history, humans have looked at the skies and wondered about things beyond themselves, and I find comfort in studying things that are beyond me.
Oh, fascinating. Yeah, I do not adhere much to these things. They're very interesting for you, but not so much for me. I am more of a mind for mining and taking the minerals from the earth and making metals and things such like that. But you know, it takes all sorts in this world. We need those who are, you know, think with their brains and not with their hands. And so I'm glad that you do this. Now, one thing I will ask you is your professor Professor Baldwin that was with us. Is he still here at the school, or has he been fired?
Well, I heard through the grapevine that he's held on by the skin of his teeth, as it were.
Ah, very good, yeah. So anyway, perhaps I see you around in the laboratory. You come help with the research. I have much to do with Professor Learmonth. We're going to find out more about the Pasqualium that we were seeking.
Well, you're too kind. Yes, I think I will.
So when you were out in those hills and you were digging up the rocks, did you have any strange inclinations about what you were finding? And Gerald, you know right away you weren't part of the geologic expedition.
No, and he seems like quite a changed fellow.
Yeah. In fact, he kind of sounds a little German.
Yeah, I was wondering about that, but it'd be rude to ask. Well, you see, I wasn't. I was only there for one night. I was with the cultural group. Do you not remember?
Oh, I thought you was the whole time in the mountain. Oh, forgive me. I carry on with your reading. And he turns, and when he turns, he kind of clicks his heels together with his dress shoes, and then he walks out, almost with a bit of a march to his step. Clearly, he thought you were part of that geologic expedition, but you were only there for that last night. Alex, are you back with us?
Yes, sorry.
No problem. So you see Clarissa Thurber, and she is fiddling with her clothes. She's kind of pulling at her blouse and at her skirt, and she looks at you, gives you a look, and says, "What are you looking at? What's your problem?"
Just wanted to make sure you were doing okay.
Yeah, I'm doing fine, but what I don't need is people looking at me.
Oh, I mean, I thought we had, connected on the trip and, we're friendly, but I'm happy to leave you alone, too.
Oh, no. Sorry. Sorry. Forgive me. I'm just... These clothes don't quite fit right. Just look at this top here. It's just... these ruffles around my neck. How do you breathe with these?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not really a ruffly person myself. Where did you get the clothes from?
Oh, well, they were in my closet, but I've never worn this outfit before, and I don't think I like it. I think I need something a little more, I don't know, something I can move in. I feel all restricted and tight in these clothes.
Yeah, I mean, always down to go shopping.
Let's do that. How about this weekend?
Yeah, sure. That'd be great.
Well,
I don't really...
Oh, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I don't really have, many friends, so it'd be nice to, hang out with someone.
Give me a charm roll, please.
Ooh. Oh no, she's terrible at that. Oh, the dice. Come on.
She says, well, I don't make a lot of friends either, but you seem like a good person, and maybe we can bond over this whole clothes thing. In fact, maybe I can borrow some of yours, and you can borrow some of mine. That's what we do, right?
That's what I'm told.
Yeah. Go ahead and push your charm roll.
Okay. The power of friendship.
Oh, you got it! Yay!
Nice.
You nailed it with a critical success.
Yeah.
She smiles and says, "You know what? I like you. That whole friend thing, let's do it. You and me."
I think Marian's gonna like hold her hand out like for a handshake, and she's gonna be like, "Sounds good," you know.
As Clarice reaches out and grabs your hand, it's a very firm grip, almost painful. Like a very firm shake, and you probably pull your hand back reflexively, maybe even like grabbing at your fingers, like "Ow, that was tight." And Clarice says, "Sorry, I don't make a lot of friends, and it's nice to have one."
Yeah, no worries about that. Maybe you can teach me how to how to shake a hand that hard. It would be really funny to do it with some of the men around here.
Oh, sure. Let me show you. And she teaches you the little trick where when you shake someone's hand, you kind of grind their little finger knuckle bones in your fist, and it's give me a roll for that. That's going to be an intimidate roll, as she's training you how to give an intimidating handshake.
Yes. Let's intimidate everyone. Oh no.
No, maybe you at first you just don't have it in you. You're like, "Oh, I don't know if I could do that." But the thought of being able to have that sort of alpha presence, especially in a field dominated by men, you think this could be useful. I'm going to have you push that roll as you give her your firmest handshake back.
Okay. Oops. Hit the wrong button. Do-do.
Well, it's better, but she says, "Just keep working on that. You'll get it. You'll get it."
I will. Thanks.
Professor Jebediah, you are you're probably in like a faculty lounge, and in the lounge is here in the middle is Professor Wilmarth, and Professor Wilmarth, he is a professor of English literature, and he has been when you're in this faculty lounge, William Noakes, this young guy over here, comes up and pokes his head in the door and says, sorry, professors. Professor Wilmarth, could I have a word with you?" And Professor Wilmarth looks at you, Jebediah, and kind of whispers to you, "Do you know this kid?"
Oh, yes, I believe he was on that little expedition a few weeks back.
Sure, son, come in. And William comes in and pulls up a chair at your shared table and sits right down and starts talking with Professor Wilmarth, almost like they have known each other for a long time. It's like, so Albert, tell me, Professor Wilmarth, tell me, how does your research go? And Professor Wilmarth is a little bit taken aback. This definitely broaches the protocol of the time between faculty and students, but he's friendly enough. And Jebediah, give me a psychology roll as you're watching these two converse. You're trying not to poke your nose in where it doesn't belong, but clearly William is very eager to talk to Professor Wilmarth, but you sense some hesitation on Professor Wilmarth's side. Like he's a little bit caught off guard by this. He's short with his answers, but he's at least humoring this young man. Let me have you push that roll as Professor Wilmarth kind of gives you a look as you try to decipher what that look might be. He gives you a look, and you maybe don't quite catch it, but he's trying to get some help here. But you miss that. Just you push that roll. You don't notice that social cue. And finally, Professor Wilmarth stands up and says, "Well, I've got to get to class. What was your name?" William Noakes. Don't you remember me?" "No, son, sorry." And Professor Wilmarth grabs his stuff. He puts his hand on your shoulder, Jebediah, and says, I'll talk to you later. And he walks out, and you're left with William Noakes here at the table. And William looks at you and just smiles and says, "So, Professor, about that field trip. Pretty crazy stuff, huh?"
Oh, yes. I think it would both do us some good if we try and put that behind us.
"Oh, yeah, sure. Okay, well, sorry to bother you, sir." And he gets up and walks out of the faculty lounge. Julian, you are looking through your books on geology, and you see Terence Laszlo, this kid over here. You see him walking through the library, and he has his usual scowl on his face. He's always been kind of a snooty sort of kid. He's silver spoon from the time he was born, rich kid, trust fund, all of that. And as he's walking around the library, there's something about the way he's moving. Give me a psychology roll, please. Nice. He's moving like a predator. He's surveying the scenes. You see his eyes kind of shifting back and forth, almost like an animal, like a lion or a wolf might move as he's moving. And he makes eye contact with you, and he's got just dark, lifeless eyes. And he looks at you, and it's almost like he's looking right through you as he fixes you with a piercing, intense gaze. And then he walks past you, continuing to scan around the library, taking in all of his surroundings.
Can I follow him to see what he's looking at?
Yeah, are you trying to be sneaky at all?
Well, he doesn't even see me, so no, I'm just gonna stand next to him.
Perfect. He's walking through the library. It's like he's maybe looking for someone, but he's not really paying close attention. As you follow him, you see him come up to another one of the professors. It's Professor Harold. Right here. He was the one that came and got you out of the jail and put you on a train and sent you back to school. He was quite upset. Terence locates Professor Harold, goes up and whispers a couple words to him. Professor Harold nods, and the two of them head out of the library. Do you continue to follow?
Can I make a wrestling roll to see if I heard anything?
Sure, absolutely. Case? You don't hear the entire conversation, but you hear one word, and that word is Blaine. And you realize
definitely follow.
You realize you have not seen Robert Blaine since he's been back to school.
Yeah, so I'm definitely going to follow. I'm very interested. Do I see any other people around me that I trust, like Arthur or Marian?
Yeah, you see Gerald and Marian.
I gestured to them to come with me, and I pointed at Professor and Terence, like, "Hey, come over. There's something going on."
Marian, do you and Gerald go with?
Yeah, Marian will.
Yeah, Gerald's in.
as you follow them, you see them walking outside, and they go outside, and there's a tree, there's a sidewalk that comes out of the library and a tree. How close do you want to get?
Close enough that they don't notice us, but we can still follow them.
Give me a stealth roll, all of you, please.
All of us?
Yep, please.
Okay.
Well, the three of you that are there.
Right. Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Wow, Marian.
So, the three of you don't stay in a group. You kind of spread out a little bit, but you're watching them, and maybe the worst roll was Julian. Maybe you walk past them as though just nonchalantly down the sidewalk. And Gerald, you go to the right, and there's a bench, and you sit on the bench, but you're kind of far that maybe you can't quite hear. But they, hopefully you can, at least see what's going on. But Marian, you actually walk past them. You go to the left, and just around the corner of the library, and you make it look like you were just wandering, past the library, going to a classroom, but then you quickly cut back and kind of secrete yourselves in the bushes there, and you've actually got a pretty good view, and you're within hearing range of them. All three of you will notice that Terrence looks at both Julian and Gerald and just pauses a good 10 or 15 seconds, looking and studying, seeing what you're doing. And Gerald, as you see Terrence looking at you, this is a guy that you've been, I don't know if I'd say friends with, but at least friendly. He seems like kind of an ass, but he's always kind of taken an opportunity to talk to you because he felt like you were maybe on his social level. But he gives you a look of just absolute disdain, like you're filth on his boot that just needs to be scraped off. And he regards you for about 10 or 15 seconds, and then he turns back to the professor. And Marian, give me a listen roll.
Yes. Listen, I forgot how the alphabet works. I was like, where are the L's? Oh no.
So you can't, you can hear them talking, but you can't quite make it out. If you want to really hear what's going on, you need to lean out of that bush just a little bit. If you fail this roll, you're going to probably stumble and make some noise. But if you pass, you'll be able to hear what they say.
Okay. Am I pushing the listen roll?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see what happens.
So you actually, as you lean forward, you hear the rustling of brush as your hand snaps on a twig of that bush, and you fall forward into the bush, and both of the two men stop and look in that direction, and they speak again to one another before heading off. But Gerald, give me a listen roll. You may have picked up some of what they said.
Ooh.
Oh, you got it by one. Yeah, you hear them say his apartment is it's off campus on West Pickman Street.
That is a good thing to overhear. He's committing it to memory.
Perfect. So, in fact, I'm going to type that into the chat just so we have it. Lean's apartment is off campus on West Pickman Street. And then they head their separate ways. Back in the library, Arthur, you see Roderick Block. Roderick, he was the football star, had gone on the expedition. He had been with the geology group, but you see him sitting at a desk, and you're used to seeing people who look afraid because you look in the mirror every day, and you probably see yourself afraid in the mirror most every day. And you see that same look on Roderick's face, and you've never seen that before on him. He's always carried himself with confidence, but you see something's not right with him. What would Arthur do?
Yeah, Arthur would probably like linger next to him.
Are you trying to be sneaky about it, or just quietly approaching?
It's like Arthur wants to approach him, but he doesn't. Like, they don't know each other very well. Like, they didn't interact.
Yeah, you didn't really bond with him.
Yeah. So I would just be, like, lingering next to him, like, not knowing, like, when to make a move and ask him if he's okay.
Well, you can see he's reading an old archived newspaper. It's kind of faded and yellowed. This is not like a current newspaper. This is an older newspaper. Give me a spot hidden roll to see if you can see what he's reading. Oh, wow. Yes. So he is reading a newspaper article, and I'm going to give you the handout. I'll go ahead and show this to everyone. And then let me make it observable in the handout section of the journals. It's from June 12th, 1921, so just over 9 years ago. And it says, family found dead in Vermont. Yesterday, the bodies of Lou Ann Clark and her 2 sons, Simon and Samuel, aged 9 and 7 respectively, were found at a campsite at the base of the Green Mountains. Police speculate the family had been murdered over a week ago by an unknown assailant. According to locals, the Clark family arrived in the small town of Cobb's Corners on June 4th, prior to going on a fishing, camping, and hiking vacation in the forest surrounding the town. As for Keith Clark, the husband and father of the slain family, no trace of him has been found at the scene of the terrible crime. Police continue to search the woods for evidence and have made a call for Mr. Clark to come forward to assist with their inquiries. What do you make of that, Arthur?
Well, that's very troubling, obviously. I guess I'll approach him and ask him about it.
He jumps a little when he sees you, like flinches, like he was not aware that you were there. And he says, "Oh, Arthur, you scared me."
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. And you see him wiping his eyes with his hands, wiping tears away. Do you need something?
Oh, I just wanted to ask if everything was okay. You don't seem very well.
I'm all right. I've been better. Just got some bad news is all, but everything will be all right. Look, I appreciate your concern. You're a good friend, Arthur.
Thanks.
Say, you're an honest person, right? You keep your word?
Sure I am.
What do you think should happen to someone who doesn't keep their word? If they promise to do something but then they don't, what do you think should happen to that person?
Well, I think they should get what's coming to them. They didn't keep their promise, and if they hurt someone by doing that, then whatever happens.
Arthur, you're right. You're exactly right. Thanks, buddy. And he folds up that paper and comes up and he puts his hand on your shoulder and looks at you, and you can see he's smiling through the tears and says, "You've taken a weight off my mind. Thank you." And then he walks out of the library.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and take our break here, and when we come back, it will be the start of the fall semester. So let's take a 8-minute break, and when we get back, school will be in session. I will see you all shortly.
sword. I'm headed to the mountains to rescue the princess from the evil goblin. I ignore all the signs of impending danger because I'm a fighter and not some crappy ranger. 47 hit points and a high dexterity, 17 for strength. Kobolds are afraid of me, crafted from numbers on living paper. I skip from the mundane to a medieval caper. While in real life, my fate is unspoken. Hero roll of the dice and my fate is unspoken. I locate the lair, but it doesn't make much sense to me. I think that the DM might be out to get me. A hero in armor and truth, bards tell my legacy. The flame of my torch illuminates the enemy. I win in a battle, you win foes asunder. Deeper I venture, the deeper I wonder. The bodies pile up before me, the corpses I plunder. The deeper I venture, the deeper I wonder. Crafted from numbers on living paper. I skip from the mundane to a medieval caper. And while in real life, my fate is unspoken. Hero roll of the dice and my fate is unspoken. I drink my last potion. I charge through the open gate. The flame of the dragon tried to seal my awful dice. 5 times a roll 20. The dragon goes down. The DM will bloody. I leave with the princess. A satchel chock full of gold. We head to the tavern where my mighty tale unfolds. Crafted from numbers on living paper. Escape from the mundane to a naval caper. While in real life, my fate is unspoken. Hero roll of the dice and my fate is unspoken. The king honored me with a mighty crossbow. It's blessed by the elves, he said. I thank him and I go. The life of a hero, struggling to stay alive. It's worth all the hardship though, 'cause now I'm a level 5. Level 5.
All right, I am back. Anyone here with me?
Hello.
Hello, Luke. How are you?
Hello.
Hello. There's. Well, I think we're just missing Alex. I think, and Henrik. Give them a moment. So essentially, we've got a few things that we can deduce. One is that everyone's acting kind of weird and acting different from how we knew them to be. These are the same people that we saw get incapacitated by that strange device, and now they're all acting very strangely, very weird. And it seems like Jason Trent, who was bosom buddies with Arthur, is now calling him Arnold, and seems to be interested in American history rather than the occult. And Roderick Block is reading a 10-year-old news article and asking Arthur about if revenge is okay. And we've got Terrence Laszlo and Professor Harold talking about Robert Blaine and getting his address. Yeah, lots of strange things. Harry Higgins now sounds like some strange German guy. Definitely some strange goings on. Alex, are you back with us yet? Not yet. So when we return, we will have the start of.
Yes,
Oh.
sorry. I microwaved some noodles, but they didn't cook all the way. I'll be right back in like a minute.
Oh, no problem, no problem. Noodles wait for no man. And when we start, we'll get right back into kind of the start of school, but you guys can still pursue your own avenues of investigation and research. But everyone will be back on campus, and hopefully Robert Blaine will be there. It's just no one has seen him as of yet. And then
Before the start of school, I like to make a trip to his apartment.
Perfect. Do you go by yourself, or does anyone go with you?
Well, I asked Marian and Gerald, since they're already there, if they want to come with. Yeah, Gerald.
Yeah, Gerald's
And,
not got nothing better going on.
Yeah, and I guess I won't ask the professor because that's kind of odd, but I'll ask Harper if he's around.
Arthur, would you want to go check out Robert Blaine's apartment?
I think Arthur would be too scared to go.
Still a little timid?
Yeah.
Would Arthur be the sort that might miss class to go and do things, or would you have to go to all of your classes?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would not miss class.
This would be just before the start of class, but you'd rather not risk running afoul of Robert Blaine? Is that the issue?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you invite Jebediah to come with, or would you not want Jebediah to come with you, Arthur?
Oh, to go to the apartment?
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't go, so I wouldn't.
Oh, you're not going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I am back. So sorry.
Perfect, no problem. So let's jump back in. So Julian wants to follow up that lead and go to West Pickman Street and check out Blaine's apartment. So let's do the group of 3 of you, which will be Marian, Julian, and Gerald, and then a group of 2 of you, which is Jebediah and Arthur. So let's do the group of 3 first. So as you head that way, it's an off-campus home. It's not far from campus. It's a small home, and there is a converted attic apartment in this home. And there is a landlord, a single man, kind of older, named Sam Flanagan, who he's out sweeping his front porch as you begin to walk by. And do you approach Mr. Flanagan?
Yeah, Julian will approach Mr. Flanagan.
And he says, "Are you friends of Blaine, Robert?"
We're definitely classmates of Blaine. We went on a field trip recently together.
Oh, I ain't seen him for a few days. I figured he was off doing more of his exploring or field trips, whatever it is that he does. He ain't upstairs if you're looking for him.
He goes on trips.
Oh,
Where?
well, he's been up to Vermont a couple of times, and every now and then he'll show up here late at night, come in. Lately, that boy's been drinking. I can tell you that much. I'm not usually one to complain about it because he shares what he brings in, but it's not exactly seemly of this young fella to come in staggering and such as he does. But I sure hope he's all right. Maybe he's off on a bender somewhere. School ought to be starting up here soon, so he should be back probably within the next day or 2.
Do you hear any strange noises coming from his apartment sometimes?
Yeah, I don't hear too much on account of my hearing ain't quite so good, but I wouldn't say no strange noises. He's very quiet upstairs. He doesn't shuffle his feet or stomp around. He tends to be very respectful young man indeed.
I hate to ask this, but we we were seeing each other, and I think I left something in his apartment. Would we be able to? Can I just sneak in? It's a necklace my grandma gave me, and I really would like it back.
Ooh, give me a roll. You can either do fast talk or charm.
Okay. It's not
If that
illegal.
fails, I'll try to charm him.
I guess charm is a little bit better. Oh,
Now, young lady, he's not allowed to have girls up there. I don't know how any belongings of yours would have ended up there. I would have certainly known about that.
I didn't really know it was against the rules. I was only up there for a second. He really just wanted to show me this cool book that he got. And I followed him up there. It's my fault.
Well, I'm going to have words with him when he gets back. He knows the rules here. I can't-
Oh no, it's embarrassing. You don't have to tell him anything about it. It's very embarrassing, actually.
Well, what book is it? Do you need it for school or something, or is this one of them smutty romance novels?
Oh no, I'm not the smutty romance
That Jane
type.
Austen. Oh, she's a terrible one.
Oh yeah. Oh yes, Jane Austen. So terrible.
Go ahead and push your charm roll.
She probably has like a Jane Austen book like in her bag or something too. It's like, ugh. Oh my goodness! Come on, dice.
Look,
Julian will try to charm him.
what do you say?
Maybe I'm like, oh, sir, you seem to enjoy drinks. How about I know that where Brother Black keeps a secret stash of drinks. I'll be happy to share them with you.
Secret stash, you say? Yeah. Go
Yeah,
ahead and
the
make
good
that
ones.
roll.
Oh,
Secret stash. I don't know about no secret stash, but I am intrigued. I'd want to. Does he keep it here on the premises?
Oh yeah, I believe it's under some floorboards,
Well,
just next to the kitchen.
last thing I need is for the police to come here and find something. I should probably know where exactly that stash is, just on account if I gotta clear it out of here one of these days. But why don't you just tell me where it is, and I'll take care of it. You can push that roll if you want to try to talk
I
me
think-
into it.
I'll push that roll. Come on. Oh yeah. Oh no.
Oh shoot! Well, why don't you just tell me
Nope.
whereabouts on the floor it is, and I'll take care of that.
Oh sure. It's in the kitchen, where probably the pantry area. It might be on the sack of potatoes or something.
Well, I'll.
at this, and Marian is gonna just be like, ah, and stumble forward and like faint.
like fainting.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That will
I'll
absolutely
look at-
work.
Excellent.
I'll look to Gerald up like, Gerald, hurry up, get into the apartment while we keep him distracted.
He will reach out and catch Marian and say, "Oh, here, miss, come, lay down on the sofa," and he'll kind of help drag you towards the sofa. You've probably got your hand like up on your forehead, like poor me. And he lays you down and goes, and he's getting a blanket. He's fussing over you, like all get out. This will buy time if Gerald, who's not spoken up yet, been kind of quiet, if he wants to try and get upstairs.
Go, Gerald.
Yeah, you gotta take the opportunity.
Give me
Good.
a
Give
spot
a little
hidden
wink.
roll
Yeah.
first.
Exciting. Ooh.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So
Man.
you missed by 12. This is to see if you can find the key to that door in case it's locked. You can spend luck or you can push that roll. There may not be a key, but you're thinking, there's probably a lock. Maybe there's a key around here.
Ooh. Yeah. That's a lot of
I'll
luck.
help him. I'll do a spot hidden while I'm like, hey, I'll get some water for
Ooh, perfect.
yeah, and I'll help him.
Oh, that was so close to being a 0.
Do you want to spend the 11 luck, or you can push that
I'll push
roll?
it.
If you fail,
I'm really
you're
good
gonna
at
drop a
this.
glass.
This is ridiculous.
Oh, you got it. Yeah, you can see that in his kitchen, as you open a glass to get out, or open a cabinet to get out a glass to get some water, you see that on the door of the cabinet there's a few little hooks, and there is a key on the hook that says attic apartment.
Yeah, I basically look at Gerald and then point to the key and then grab the water and go back in.
Perfect.
I'm like, Gerald, this key.
Gerald, you
Good eye.
swipe the key, and you head up the stairs. The stairs are old; they're probably a little creaky. Maybe a stealth roll to see how well you can get up these stairs.
This is breaking and entering. Let's not color. Oh dear.
Now, Marian, you can hear the squeaking of Gerald's feet on the stairs.
Oh,
Yeah, perfect.
oh no. Oh,
So, you cry
Julian
out,
is gonna be like-
wailing.
oh.
Julian's gonna be like, I think there's rats in your house, Mister. I can help you out with that once we're done with the water. And
Rats.
I basically I put down the water and get a broom and like run upstairs to help clear out the mouse. Wink, wink.
When you say rats, Marian, you really let out a scream. This time for real. You have a fear of rats, and even the suggestion of rats, your kind of faux distress turns into a yelp, and this will buy Gerald time to make that stealth roll. You don't need to push it. You can re-roll it with a bonus die.
Alrighty. Ooh.
That is still a miss. This you can push if you want. As you go up the stairs, you're like, I can't. Like, these things are in need of some repair. This whole house is squeaky.
Yeah, I mean, Gerald's never walked on such a a peasant staircase. Goodness. It's like really trying to. Ooh. Oh, it was so close to a 0. That said, I will happily spend the luck on. Oh, you can on a push roll.
Once you push the roll, you cannot. But you're so close. You still make sound, and it squeaks up there. And the landlord he turns his head. Mr. Flanagan's like, huh? And he starts to turn towards the sound of those stairs.
No, sir, you can't leave me alone with the rats.
He looks back. There. There's no rats in this house. Trust me. I've got old Figaro over there, and he'll take care of them. And you look over, and there's this fat, lazy cat just laying on its back in a little patch of sun on the rug. And Figaro is just basking in that. And you think, there's no way that fat cat's catching a rat. But this guy seems to be under the impression that he's doing well. Well, Gerald, you make it up to the top, and the door is indeed locked. But you have the key. You crack the door open, and at first glance, his apartment appears to really have nothing of value. It's been relatively well maintained and clean. There are books and notes scattered along a desk and along the bed, as well as many empty whiskey bottles. Give me a psychology roll.
Ooh, dear.
Well, that's terrible. Okay, there's no coming back from that. This looks like someone in distress, probably either lazy or in distress, went through here. Which it could be, you don't know, but you know that Blaine, he wasn't a slob, and so maybe he's dealing with some things that you're not sure of. Give me a spot hidden roll as you search the room.
While he does this, Gerald's trying to keep in mind like a book he can nab in case he gets caught. It'll just be like, oh, well, you see this? I found the Mrs. Book.
Oh,
So maybe he's more distracted by that than actually looking for what he's here for.
perfect. Well, you do see that there are several bookshelves upon which sit a complete set of encyclopedias, along with several books of a geologic bent. And next to these are well-thumbed books, a couple of volumes of anthropology and American folklore, and then just more bottles, some on the bookshelf. Next to the bed on the nightstand, there's a small stack of books that concerns the occult, and I'm going to put some of these books into the chat, and you can choose which one you grab. There is there's Isis Unveiled. There is the Discovery of Witchcraft, and where's the last one? De Demionalitate et Incubus et Succubus is the last one.
Interesting. I think this is almost a callback. You know, he was reading about, not reading about Bast, but he had Bast on his mind. Now Isis Unveiled.
Yeah,
I think that would definitely jump out at him. I think he probably grabbed that.
I'm going to throw that one on your character sheet. This book, it's a worn hardbound book, and later you'll have a chance to go through it. But for now, you just swipe the Isis Unveiled book. You push your spot hidden roll if you would. You've grabbed the book, so at least you have an alibi.
Oh. It would have been a success anyways, but it's almost 30. That would have been humble at least.
You find on the desk there's a letter that you find. Let me grab the letter, and I'm going to show this to everyone, and then I'll make it readable. It's a letter dated August 20th. There's no year. It's from Mrs. E. Cratchit, 12 Orchard Road, Cobb's Corners, Vermont. It says, Mr. Blaine, I write this letter only to tell you why you haven't received any response to your last 3 pestering letters. My beloved husband, Jethro, who was a great and honest man if ever there was, is dead. Dr. Perry says it was an accident, but I think better of it. I told Jethro not to get mixed up with you or that Mrs. Devine and all of your oh-so-smart college foolishness, but you and that woman got him to go against me, and now he's dead. I hope you are happy, sir, and I hope you rot in hell. I know he died because of the stories he was telling you. I don't know how, but I'm sure you had something to do with his untimely demise. Please, if you have any mercy in your damnable heart, do not write to me again. May God forgive you, because I cannot. You have made me a widow before my time. Signed, Imelda Cratchit.
Well, that's a strongly worded letter.
Yeah.
You hear from downstairs, you can hear the landlord saying, do you need the doctor? Should I call the doctor?
Oh, I'm not sure. How many rats are in the walls?
I think we should get you out of the house. I think if you're worried about the rats, let's get you out. Figaro will take care of the rats. And he helps you to your feet and leads you outside, where he has a nice little rocking chair on his porch. Come sit outside, get some of the fresh air in there. You'll feel much better. Come along. Hey, where's the other one? And he starts looking around. And Gerald, you hear him. He seems like he's done with you, and he's now looking, or done with the three of you, but he's now looking for you in particular.
And am I close enough to like notice this? Like I'm like in the room.
Yeah, you're in the. Well, you're upstairs. You can hear the voices.
Right.
There's almost no soundproofing in this house at all, so you can hear the front door open as he's leading Marian out, and then you hear him saying, "Where's the other one? There were three of you."
Yeah. So I think Gerald's not even going to try to pretend like he was up there. So he'll just come out with the book and say, "Oh well, I've got the book. What's all this about? What, Marian, are you well?"
Give me a fast talk roll, Gerald, as you quickly say, "I've got the book," and then you go back to talking about Marian.
Ooh.
Not quite. Close, but not quite. He says, "Wait a minute. Did you go upstairs?"
Well, yes, sir, I did. I see why that may bother you, but, well, I was hoping it would, ease her distress. The door was unlocked. In fact, I was almost worried for his health. What if anybody got in there? It's quite bad security, really, but the good old Blaine's not there, so, apologies.
Push your fast talk roll. Nice.
Phew, something.
He says, "Yes. Sorry. I'll see to it at once. I'll make sure the door is locked. I've got the key around here somewhere. And look, you guys see to her. Make sure she's okay. If Blaine, when he comes back, I'll let him know people were concerned about him and looking for him. I've got to tend to my house." And he goes back inside. You still have the key in your pocket, though, Gerald.
Yeah, I think
I'm gonna get the key off Gerald and run back. So I think I found the key.
Ooh.
I think you left it here.
Give me a fast talk roll, and you can add a bonus
Gerald's
die to that.
The rats are stealing the keys.
And I know. I found it when I was chasing the rats. Let me fast talk my way out of this, and hopefully we can.
Marian is really enjoying the rocking chair, by the way.
He looks and says, "You found the key," and then he flashes Gerald a look, and you know this look. It's a withering look, like found in quotation marks. You stole this key, and now you're trying to cover your tracks. He swipes the key from your hand and says, "If you're friends of Robert Blaine, I suggest you meet him at the school. You're not welcome here again. But do please check on that sweet young girl. Make sure she's okay." And he gives you a little smile.
Chivalry isn't dead. Well, of course. Thank you, sir.
He slams the door behind him, and you hear him berating Figaro for not being a good guard cat and keeping the riffraff away. You know, rats in the walls. The only rats in this house were those three.
Wow.
But you do have a book, and you did find that letter. Let's go back to the other two. This is Jebediah and Arthur. You chose not to go to Blaine's house. How are you two spending your time instead? If we heist Figaro, bust him out of there.
He will be our cat.
What is Arthur and Jebediah doing while this is going down?
Well, Arthur, I think that perhaps we should do some research, some looking into what we've had happen to us the last few weeks. I think that might put us at ease. Perhaps we can find some logical explanation.
Yes, Professor, I agree.
So you spend your time at the library. Both of you can give me a library use roll, please. Jebediah, you are very familiar with the library. Arthur, you missed it by 3. Do you want to spend luck, or you could push that roll?
I'll just push it.
Okay. There we go. As you spend this time at the library, you're looking for information on what in particular?
Well, Professor Baldwin is. He's particularly keen on perhaps looking into the folklore of Vermont and that particular region. Perhaps he can find something that might explain this with a more of an anthropology lens.
Give me an anthropology roll, Jebediah. Nice. Oh, nailed it right on the dot. You do come across some information. In fact, there's a note in one of the books that says to there's a reference to another book in there, and there's a note that has been glued into that page that says located in the restricted area. And so if you want to try to find any more information, you would need to try to gain access. Now, as a member of the faculty, that is going to be easier than it would be for a student, but you still need to go through Professor Henry Armitage to gain that access. But there is something in the restricted section that may prove useful. Do you go through Dr. Armitage?
Yes, if I can find him and speak with him for a moment.
Easy enough to find him. Let me grab his token here. I should have... thought I had a Henry Armitage. Maybe I don't. Nope, I don't have one. Professor Armitage is... he keeps an office near the restricted section, and as you go up there, his receptionist greets you, and by name, she knows you, and oh, Professor Baldwin, you're back from your expedition. Oh, sorry, we're not supposed to ask you about that. How can I help you?
Oh, yes, is Albert in? I wish to speak with him.
Yes, of course. And you're led in, and Professor Armitage is there, and he stands up. Jebediah, welcome to my office. Tell me, how went your field trip?
Well, I'm sure you've heard your fair share of rumors and know that it was not quite as successful as we had hoped.
Well, I've heard things, but you know me. I prefer to hear it from the horse's mouth, if you know what I mean. Why don't you tell me what happened?
Yes, well, I haven't quite pieced it all together myself. There's most certainly some strange going-ons in that town. Not sure that the explanations are all exactly scientific. That is partly why I've wished to come and speak with you today. But to put it simply, I and some of the students encountered something quite strange there, and it has led to a series of unfortunate happenings.
What sort of happenings?
Well, as you know, the university's reputation in that town is somewhat diminished due to the events of our field trip, which, of course, I am displeased about. But despite that, it seems some of the students have been acting a bit strangely, as though this expedition has taken a toll on their minds.
Acting strangely, you say. Jebediah, speak frankly with me. Did you encounter anyone or anything in Cobb's Corners?
Well, if you wish for me to speak frankly, I shall. I'm not sure what it was, but there was the final night of our expedition where several of the geology students and myself encountered some some creatures, what I'd like to call it, in a field near the dig site, and while I'm not sure what it was, it certainly wasn't a known species.
Were they large as a man?
I'd say perhaps larger, but then again, I didn't get a close look at one.
Were they pink or purple in color?
Yes. Cooked, the color of cooked lobster. Yes.
Did you hear a buzzing sound by chance?
Now that I think about it, yes. In fact, one of my students, Arthur Finch, heard some buzzing days leading up to the event. I myself didn't hear it until that particular evening.
Did you happen to see any in flight by chance?
In flight, I don't recall. I'm ashamed to admit that just the sheer sight of them struck me blind for a scant moment, and before I was able to regain my facilities, a student and I had made it to the road and were out of sight of the creatures.
Well, you're not alone. Let me show you something. I obtained this photograph from one of the other faculty members, and he slides a worn picture across his desk. It is said that these things cannot be photographed, that their molecules vibrate on a different resonance than the matter that makes up my body and yours. Many attempts have been made to capture them on film, but none have been successful other than this, and I'm afraid it's as clear as we can get, but that is one in flight. This particular photograph comes to us from Albert Wilmarth. I believe you know Professor Wilmarth?
Yes, we are acquainted.
He spent some time in Vermont just a few years ago. Not where you were, a different part of Vermont, but he received letters from an old farmer there. This farmer, he said there were strange things out in his yard and troubling his animals, and he would see these prints on the ground and hear this strange buzzing sound. Well, Albert, he didn't pay it much mind until finally he decided to investigate, and at the time of his arrival, this man, who seemed to be filled with paranoia, was no longer as such. He seemed to be quite content and said it was all just some sort of hoax. But Albert, being astute and intuitive, he felt there was more to it, and so he interviewed this man, and the stories he could tell, well, chills your soul to even think of it. The whisperer in darkness, he called this man, as he would only speak in a darkened room, bound up in a blanket, only his hands and face visible. His voice was a buzzing chatter, almost mechanical in sound. Yeah, speak with Albert about this. Perhaps he can shed more light on this. But I understand you're looking for a book or something?
Yes. I was conducting some research, and I found a note referencing a book in your restricted section, and I was hoping that I might gain access to it.
Well, we've been friends for quite some time. I'm sure that arrangements could be made. Promise me something, though. You'll not take this book from the restricted section. If you wish to look at it, you may come here any time and see it, but I cannot allow this to leave the library, if you understand.
Well, yes, that naturally would be true. However, I have one more request. I'm doing some research with my student, Arthur Finch. Would it be all right if I were to show this to him as well? He's quite astute, a good little fellow, yes.
You'll vouch for this student?
Yes, he's quite a good student. He would, of course, mean no harm, and would take good care of the book, better than I would even think.
Well, I see no problem in that. This book, I'm afraid it's going to be a bit of a loose end as far as your current course of investigation. This book is about something very different from that photograph, but, well, I'll give you access regardless. And he gives you the book Ecstasy, Flames, and the Druids of Britain. I'm going to put that in your inventory as well as Arthur's, since you both have access to it. Now this book it's handsomely bound in black leather with a small gold embossed oak leaf etched into the cover. Arthur, give me an occult roll.
Ooh.
You have never seen this oak leaf. It's almost like just the stems of an oak leaf. It's not an actual leaf, but just the stem-like material of this. And but you think you've seen this somewhere before. In fact,
Can I push the roll?
yeah, it's in that journal with the doodles that Jason Trent had made. This is an elder sign. This is that same spell you were trying to learn. And so having seen this sign on a book, this will give you another opportunity to try to learn that spell. But as you look through Ecstasy, Flames, and the Druids of Britain, this is considered the definitive edition about Druidism when it was first published in 1910. It's by Dr. Nigel Fiske, and this tome has since come under attack for being sensationalistic and wildly inaccurate. According to the author, evidence suggests the Druids were instigators of blood-soaked orgies and other more insidious acts of subhuman barbarism. But on the book's end fly page is a handwritten note. And let me show you this. And this is handout number 1. I'll make it observable in handouts. This handwritten note, it has a poem. It says, "O mother of life, begetter of the thousand young, devourer of my enemies, with my flesh I serve thee, with my soul I worship thee. That thy will be done here as it is in the spaces betwixt the stars. May my sacrifice be worthy, that I may sup on thy holy milk in the summer lands forever." And then there is a drawing of a young person around these horrific-looking trees. And Arthur, when you see that, give me a sanity roll.
Oh boy.
Arthur, you are going to lose 2 sanity points. So there is that handwritten prayer to someone called the Mother, and a crude depiction of a summer solstice rite, considered a time of powerful magic, involving the participants lighting bonfires and jumping over the flames to celebrate the sun's power to bring forth life on the night before Midsummer's Eve. The illustration shows children and trees dancing around a large fire. This copy was once held by someone named Mabel Carruthers. It has corrective notes penned in it, revealing some sort of relationship between a cult of the Mother and an unnamed group of others who are described as not of this world. Now, there are no spells to be found in this book. However, if either of you wants to give this a reading, you can spend some time here giving this initial reading to the book, and you will gain some Cthulhu Mythos skills, some occult points as well, but there is a sanity loss that is possible as well. So if either of you wants to do that, you can double click on the book, and then it will show the, where is it, initial reading button up in the upper right corner. Arthur, do you want to read this book?
Sure.
Go ahead and click on that initial reading. And then both of you click on that sanity check button. Okay, so let's see. So Jebediah, you lost 3. I don't think it already took it out, so I'm going to apply it. Arthur, you lose 1 point of sanity. It's not enough for either of you to go temporarily insane or indefinitely insane, but you do take a loss. However, your Cthulhu Mythos goes up, your occult goes up as well as you learn about this cult of the mother. And perhaps, Professor, most intriguing to you is that last little bit about the cult, about how there was a relationship between a cult of the mother and an unnamed group of others who are described as not of this world. And you think that perhaps this has something to do with that photograph and those things that you saw that last night in Cobb's Corners.
Yes, indeed.
Let's go back to the group of 3, Marian, Julian, and Gerald. Marian, you find yourself back at your laboratory, your special room there at the Science Annex, and I've got I don't think I have a map. I do have one of the Science Hall. I have one of the library too. I should have put up. Here we go. Here's the Science Hall. You find yourself back here, and perhaps you've brought Gerald and Julian with you, maybe to discuss that book that Gerald found, and maybe that letter. Do any of you want to read that book? Gerald, it's in your possession. Do you want to give that book a read, The Isis Unveiled?
Yeah, it sounded interesting. He was just grabbing it for a cover, so he just grabbed one that looked interesting.
So Isis Unveiled is divided into 2 volumes. Volume 1 is The Infallibility of Modern Science, discusses occult science and the hidden and unknown forces of nature, exploring such subjects as forces, elements, psychic phenomena, inner and outer man. Volume 2 is Theology, discusses the similarity of Christian scripture to Eastern religions such as Buddhism, Hinduism, the Vedas, and Zoroastrianism. It follows the Renaissance notion of Piscatheologia, in which that all these religions purportedly descend from a common source, the ancient wisdom religion. And the author, Helena Petrovna Blavatsky, writes in the preface that Isis Unveiled is a plea for the recognition of the Hermetic philosophy, the anciently universal wisdom religion, as the only possible key to the absolute in science and theology. And again, this has no spells, but you can gain some occult points. So if you want to click that initial reading button, if you double click the book, it should show the initial reading up in the upper right corner.
You can, oh dear, you
you
can
will.
also click the little edit button, and then that's there too.
That'll pull it up. So you didn't pass your English roll, so the wording was a little difficult for you. Yeah, you got a 95.
Oh, a 95. Yeah, he's got an 80 in English.
If you want to push that, you can definitely push that.
Yeah, I think just to save his pride, he would try.
You have to mouth out some of the big words. You're like, he. And then Julian says the. Oh, yeah, right. And there is no sanity loss for this, but you do gain those points. Do you pass that book around to the others?
As long as they're interested, yeah. He's not picky or particular.
Would Marian be interested in Isis Unveiled?
Sure.
I'll
Why
drop
not?
that on there. And Julian, how about yourself?
Yeah, definitely. Since he's a Egyptian nut.
Perfect. If you guys want to
Yeah.
do that initial reading, you can.
Fascinating stuff.
Yeah.
Science.
Oh, oops. Initial reading. There you go.
Do we roll in English? Is that what we do?
Yes.
Or, I don't know.
So on the book, you'll click on the book, and it'll have initial reading in a little square, kind of on the upper right side.
Is that what I press? I press something.
Yeah, and then when you click that, it should roll your English skill.
Oh, no. So if I go,
Or you can click on the edit. Yeah, click on the edit button next to that book, the little pencil in the box, and then click on initial reading.
oh, there we go. That's right. Yes.
Oh wow, I'm glad I put stuff in English.
Perfect.
Nice.
Okay.
Excellent. Now,
This is the part where I'm gonna pull out journals and journal Jason Trent and then show it to the group and like, hey, I think there's some cool spells in here. You want to have a look at?
is that something that Marian and Gerald would be interested in looking at this journal? Now, Marian, there is some sensitive information about you in there. Maybe almost like Jason was eavesdropping at the bathroom door while you were in there using the bathroom, using the outhouse, and just things that were like, oh my gosh, like what a creep. Would you be interested in looking in this book?
Oh yeah, she wants to know what that little weirdo was up to.
I'll drop that.
Yeah,
one
Julie
on
was
as
now
well.
very interested. What dirty little secret does the mirror have?
What about Gerald? Would you be intrigued by this book?
Well, to know or to defeat your enemy, you must know them. But I think Gerald wouldn't. It's really disturbing. That little weirdo. No.
Little troll. If you want to do an initial read of this journal, then you can, Marian. Same as before. You need to do the initial reading.
The Journal of Jason Trent. Oh. I hit initial reading, but it said I don't know the language in which this book is written.
Oh, yeah, let me change it. Sorry.
Oh, okay. It's like, is he writing a cipher? Like,
There. So it was in a cipher, but you do have, Julian has decoded it with Arthur's help. So try it again. Will that work?
thanks, team. Well,
You know nothing about yourself.
It's a bit of a struggle. You can push that if you like, as you probably lean on Julian, like, yeah, can you help me figure this out?
right. What does this guy
Ooh.
say?
Oh wow.
Oh.
Nice. And then you get it, and you gain some mythos, some occult points, and then let me apply that sanity loss on there. You also see that there are 3 spells. If you want to learn a spell, there's the Elder Seal, the Black Words, or Woeful Agony of the Wretched. It will be an intelligence roll. You need to beat a hard success to learn the spell, if you want to learn one.
Is there one that we don't have yet?
The Black Words. I don't think anyone took the Black
Oh.
Words. Or no, the Woeful Agony of the Wretched. No one took that one.
Yeah, that one sounds
Yeah.
pleasant.
Right?
Yeah,
That's the one that stuck out to me, so I'll take that one.
you have to do an intelligence check to see if you can learn it.
Yep.
Okay, so intelligence?
Yep. You need a hard success.
Okay.
And then Arthur, if you want to try to relearn that spell now that you've... So that was not a hard success. That was close. You could spend 7 luck, or you could push that.
Oh, 7 luck for sure.
Perfect. Let me drop
Get
that
outta here,
spell
luck.
on here. There, you now have access to Woeful Agony of the Wretched. To cast it for the first time, you need to make a hard power roll. And you don't have to pass it. If you pass it, the spell goes off. If you fail, you can push it, And then if you push it and it passes, the spell goes off. But if you fail the push roll, the spell still goes off, but then something bad happens. But then you can cast it as much as you want once you've done that initial casting. But you now have access to Woeful Agony of the Wretched.
Yay.
And Arthur, did you want to make an intelligence roll to try and learn the Elder Seal? You get a hard success. No. But if you want to, you can spend the luck, or you can push that. That would be, what, 22 luck?
I'll just push it.
Okay. There we go. Arthur, you learned the tough one, the Elder Seal. Nice. Excellent. While you're at the laboratory, you notice that Professor Learmonth, who is the kind of the guy that was the head of this expedition that set it up, he's one of the heads of the mining and geology department, as well as William Noakes, Harry Higgins, and Clarissa Thurber. The four of them are frequently seen together. Those three students and Professor Learmonth, they're always kind of moving around the different floors. You see them chatting together. They spend lots of time with him, and you can see that they're often showing Professor Learmonth notes and photographs, as well as some kind of rock sample. And Marian, you probably notice this the first because you're in the science hall the most, but you definitely can tell that they are still probably following up on the field trip. You guys have kind of come home in shame, and these guys are taking all the credit. What would Marian do about that?
And they're close by, right?
Yeah, very close by. In fact, Professor Learmonth has a laboratory here, and there's no one in there at present. You know that you could probably get in there and hide if you wanted to hear some of their conversations.
Ooh, yeah, why not?
So it's no problem getting in there, and sure enough, your persistence pays off. After about an hour of waiting, you're starting to get tired, thinking no one will show up. You can hear the door turning and voices coming in. And give me a listen roll, please.
Nope.
You hear a few things, a few bits of information. Some of it is stuff you already know. You know that Professor Learmonth is interested in the hills and mountains of Vermont, roughly the same area where the first field trip, the one where people died, where they conducted their soil survey. He thinks the area might contain concentrations of this Pasqualium, named after the man who discovered it. And that he was sent the ore by a large American company named Federated Oil and Chemical for him to conduct tests and report back on the properties it can contain. If you want to push that roll, you maybe get into a little more advantageous position to hear this, but there is some glassware nearby, and if you fail that... Oh, you got it. You hear that when Professor Harold, the guy that came and chewed you all out and sent you home, when he needed funding for the field trip for the anthropology trip, it was Professor Learmonth who arranged for Federated Oil and Chemical to provide the funding, which in turn allowed him to send students with Professor Harold who were those who wanted to do geology as well as the anthropology. Again, you already knew this. But Learmonth wanted his students to conduct surveys to see if they could turn up any signs of the Pasqualium. Harry Higgins, William Noakes, and Clarissa Thurber have returned from the second field trip with evidence that Pasqualium is not native to Earth. And they claim that it must have come from a meteorite that struck the Vermont mountains thousands of years ago. And to prove their point, they've brought another small sample of the ore that they said they found in an impact crater in the hills around Cobb's Corners, as well as photographs of the crater and pages of dated field notes and calculations. Now, you were there. You know that is nonsense. There was no impact crater found. No one took pictures of a crater. No one found Pasqualium. There's definitely something going on here. They continue their conversations briefly before they leave, and Professor Learmonth locks up the lab.
Okay, Marian will take this information back to the others.
Give me a spot hidden roll before you leave his laboratory.
Sure. No.
Well, as you walk by his desk, there is a stack of papers and envelopes and folders, and at first glance you don't see anything that says Pasqualium or any of the information you're looking for, but if you spend some time and dig through there, maybe you can find something. That would mean pushing the roll.
Sure.
Oh, so close.
Oh,
As you are going through these papers, you hear a rattle at the door as the door begins to open.
oh no.
You've got about 3 seconds to do something before someone comes through that door.
I'm guessing it's his desk, right, that I'm going through?
Yes.
Okay, she's just gonna, like, duck under it.
Give me a stealth roll.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Critical success. Okay, with a critical success, you hear Professor Learmonth come into the room. He's whistling a tune, seems to be in a good mood. Walks over to his desk and he sets something down on the desk. And then he walks out and locks the door behind him.
Whew. Can I look at what he just set down?
Yes, because you got a critical success, there is you find a note. There's a small envelope, and in it there's a note from Professor Harold. Let me post that. And I'll make this visible. It says, "Dear Ashley, I wish to thank you for coming through in regards to the funding of the field trip I have planned. I can't imagine why the university would deny me funding for such a potentially beneficial excursion. I have my suspicions that damnable Wilmarth is behind it. In any regard, I believe it's quite generous of Federated Oil and Chemical to finance this expedition, and I sincerely look forward to integrating our students, as I have been a vocal proponent of interdisciplinary field trips for quite some time. I hope your students are as fruitful in their diggings as mine will undoubtedly be on their quest for local folklore. Please let me know if I can ever be of service to you in the future. Yours, Roger Harold." There is also an unsealed envelope here. Let me post this one. This contains a letter to a Mr. Abelard of Federated Oil and Chemicals, and some of you may know. In fact, I think Gerald and Julian, you might know who Mr. Abelard is.
Fairly well. I might have met him. I don't know.
You probably have met him. This says, "Dear Mr. Abelard," and it's on Miskatonic paper. I regret to inform you that it would appear the Pasqualium is extraterrestrial in origin. My students have returned with another sample of the ore, which they found in a crater they estimate to be thousands of years old. I am enclosing photographs of the site for your perusal. According to my students, they found the ore at Red Rock Mountain, 5 miles due south of Brattleboro. I have taken the liberty of holding on to both samples of the ore so that I may continue testing them. If you desire the original sample returned, please contact me. It has been a pleasure dealing with a philanthropist such as yourself, sir, and if I may be of any further assistance to Federated Oil and Chemical, I would welcome your call. In thanks and appreciation, signed Professor Ashley Learmonth. Now, Marian, you know you never went to Red Rock Mountain. You were not 5 miles due south of Brattleboro. This is all incongruous with what you know took place on your field trip. There is also a photograph that's attached. It's of an apparent crater, but it's nothing that you found that you saw on this field trip. And you doubt that anyone had time to do this. This seems to be forged.
But why?
But why, indeed.
Good question.
Let's change the scene. We're going to jump ahead to an evening about one or two nights later. You are, let's see, do I have Miskatonic Campus? I do.
When you do that, can I take a reading, see what actually said about Marian in that journal?
Yes, absolutely. So, to see what was said about Marian in Jason Trent's journal.
Yep.
There is information in there about how she is destined to be an old maid. She is quite shrewish. And that he doubts that she has ever had any love interest at all. And that he would certainly spurn any of her advances. It's clearly delusional. This is like, some total incel that's just, blaming women for all of his troubles. So there's also information about like when and for how long she brushes her teeth and what socks she wore that day. And he's almost obsessive about her hair, just talking about, her hair was, she wore it in a bun today, and oh, I hate when she does that, and I wonder if she'll do it tomorrow. And he just seems really obsessed about her hair. Just like super creepy, stalkerish sort of things.
Julian sends Marian his regards.
1 or 2 nights later, probably after classes, you've still not seen Robert Blaine at all. And Marian and Julian and Gerald, you're out for a walk. You're just leaving the near where the medical school is. You come down just kind of past here to this intersection. This leads on to West Pickman Street. That's the street that Robert Blaine lives on. And you decide, let's just go for a walk past that house. Is Arthur and Professor Baldwin with you? Or is it just the three of you? Arthur, would you have gone with them for this? Are you concerned at all about Robert Blaine?
Not really. I don't think Arthur really interacted with him either.
Okay. What about Jebediah? Is this something, would you be interested in Robert Blaine's well-being or whereabouts?
Well, right now I think that Professor Baldwin is more concerned with conducting some research on the strange happenings, perhaps scheduling a meeting with that fellow that Albert had recommended, and doing
with
some work.
Professor Wilmarth?
Yes.
Okay. In fact, let's do that first. So, just a really quick scene. So you actually meet with Albert Wilmarth. In fact, this is the same person you were talking to in the faculty lounge, and that William Noakes came in and was being all friendly with him. This time it's late in the evening, and you head over to Wilmarth's office, and he's just packing up to head home, and he's grabbing his coat and his hat, and as you're speaking with him, just, maybe, hey, maybe we can go get some dinner or something. You just want to spend some time with him. He seems quite amenable to speaking with you. Give me a spot hidden roll, Professor. You spot a face in the darkened window. There's some bushes outside the window. There's a face. It's William Noakes. He's looking in the window and smiling.
Wilmarth, I don't mean to alarm you, but it appears you have a student that's quite taken with your work there. He seems to be peering through the window. Seems quite interested in your work.
He says, "Oh, pay him no mind. I've learned to simply ignore him. That young man, he's acting quite strangely. I'm rather suspicious about him. You spent time with him on that field trip. Did something happen there in Vermont?"
Well, I wasn't with him most of the time. He was, of course, with another group, though I was in charge. Most of the students, I must admit, have been acting a tad bit strangely. I think that perhaps it might have taken a great toll on their mind, that trip.
Have I ever told you of my own trip to Vermont?
Well, Albert had mentioned a bit about that. In fact, it's why I came to speak with you. But I'm sure you could, of course, share more details about it. He did only speak of it very briefly.
Well, there was this man named Henry Akeley, and, well, I'm afraid he met with a rather dreadful end. He was researching some strange findings after a storm in Vermont, and, well, these things started showing up at his farm, and he asked me to come and visit with him, and I did, and he was a changed man. Entire demeanor had changed. His personality, his line of questionings, his very nature had changed. I spoke with him merely as he was seated in a chair in a darkened room, his pale hands and face scarcely moving as he whispered strange stories to me, and they were quite fantastical. I fear this man may have had some sort of tumor or some pathology. But he mentioned frequently of visitors that came to his farmhouse, and they promised him grand journeys and adventures. You see, these people came from some planet beyond Neptune, the 9th planet, they call it, and you and I both know there's only 8. But this 9th planet, apparently this race of beings could traverse the space between the planets and the space between the stars on great gossamer wings or some such. And they could carry man to these various places. Well, not you or I as we are, but according to Akeley, they would take the brain surgically from a man and put it into some sort of canister or jar and take his consciousness with them. And using some contraption, they could speak to this consciousness as though he were still alive, and they had some strange device for eyes and ears and speaking. And, well, anyway, I left in a hurry. It was all too grim and gruesome for me, but, well, Henry Akeley quit his line of questioning. At that point, I never heard from him again. But this William Noakes fellow, he seems very familiar. His line of questions and some of the things he said about Vermont, well, I can't help but shake the feeling that he's got a bit of Akeley in him, if you know what I mean. But I think it's just long hours that I've been working here at the college, and I think I need a sabbatical after this next term. I think I'm due. Let's go get that dinner, all right? And he goes over and there's some curtains, and he just closes the curtains on William Noak's face as he's still looking in through the window. Ignore him, he'll go away. Come, let's go get that dinner. And the two of you head out of his office, and he locks the door behind you. Let's go to the three walking down the street, down West Pickman Street. So it's nighttime, and as you head down the street, you come across that house on West Pickman, and all of the lights are out. Perhaps the landlord has gone out for the evening. You're not sure where Mr. Flanagan could be. But as you are heading down the apartment, you're surprised. You hear a gunshot. And you see a flash coming from the attic window of that house.
Oh my gosh. Well,
Oh,
time to run up there.
yes. Well, so they may need help. Who needs the police?
As you run up there, you see the lower lights on the house begin to turn on, and as Sam Flanagan wakes up from the noise above, as you approach the door, you can hear him shuffling his feet. Well, where's my slippers? What was that? Figaro, where are you?
Call 911.
Do you call that out?
Yeah.
Who's there?
Julian's gonna bust down the door, straight up, like kicking the door.
Give me a strength roll.
Oh,
And while that's happening, Marian is like, we met before, but call 911. There's been a gunshot.
I'll get the police. I don't have a phone here. I'll get them. And stay here. Watch after Figaro. And as he runs out through the front door, Figaro takes off in a flash, running out. Figaro's this big fat orange cat. He just bolts into the brush.
He's free.
Yeah, right. Run far, Figaro. Go, boy. And this man runs over to the neighbor's house, begins pounding on the door. You've got the house to yourself for a few moments before he returns or the police show up.
Julian was kicked in the door, right?
Yeah.
You head up the stairs, and upon...
Yeah, Julian's gonna kick into the door. I don't have the key to the room, so I'm gonna smash the door.
You kick in that door as well. It's not locked. It opens
it doesn't matter.
With an easy kick. You're on a roll. Just start kicking all the doors in. So as you smash the door in, slumped in front of his desk, the side of his head blown apart, a .38 revolver lying at his feet alongside an empty whiskey bottle, is Robert Blaine. I need the three of you to give me a sanity roll.
Ooh.
Oh, but Blaine! You're supposed to die by my blade. What the heck?
Ooh, consistent.
Right? Do we get another 40?
You also.
Oh.
So, Marian, you will lose 1, and the boys will lose 1d4. We'll lose 2 for Julian and Gerald. It looks as though Blaine, drunk on liquor, took the gun and shot himself in the head.
Mm-hmm. It looks as though... What hand is the gun in?
His left hand.
Do we remember if he's left-handed?
Give me an intelligence roll.
That's how they always mess up at the crime scene.
Right?
Oh, Marian does not know.
You don't think he was left-handed, but you can't be sure.
Can I for like gunpowder residue on his hands or something?
Yeah, give me a spot hidden as you check that.
Sure.
Dang. Nice.
Two things. One, you discover that there is no gunpowder residue on his hands. And two, you see something almost like a shadowy form moving across through the room past you towards the door. And Gerald and Marian, give me a spot hidden roll as well.
Ooh.
And you won't be able to
Oh,
push
nice.
these. Oh, Marian. You don't see anything, but you get a smell. It's a smell of pomade, of hair gel, used to slick back someone's hair. And you've smelled this before. You smelled it in the farmhouse where you were at in Vermont, and Terrence Laszlo he used this pomade. It's a very expensive brand. This is the kind he used. You smell it as you almost a breeze blows past you. At the same time, Julian, you see a shadowy figure move past Marian and through that open door.
Immediately, can I try to cast the black words on this moving target right away, or do I need
Yes.
some kind of recognition?
So let me pull this up. So you've not cast this before.
Yeah.
So to cast this, to do the black words, you need to make a hard power roll.
Is it okay if you do it for me?
Yep, I can do that for you.
Thanks.
You don't pass the first time, but you can push it.
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah, let's push it.
It's all my might. That's my concentration.
You try and force the spell out.
Ooh.
Ooh, the spell will still go off. However, something bad will happen. So let's pull this up. So you need to you can invest as many magic points as you desire and half that amount in sanity points. And then you'll make a power roll against this shadow. If you succeed, then the target is subjected to sudden terrifying blast of energy, he'll lose 1 hit point per magic point invested in the spell. So you have 12 magic points. How many magic points do you want to dump? Do you want to do all 12? Oh, are you there?
This is Julian, right?
Yeah. Did we
Yeah.
lose-
Can you hear me?
Oh, now I can hear you. How
Yeah.
many?
Oh, sorry.
How many magic
cool.
points do you want to put into
six
the
points.
spell? 6 points. So that will cost you 6 magic points
Yeah.
and 3 points of sanity.
And it's 3 cents.
So I'll
Yep.
go ahead and deduct those from you. Perfect. And then you need to make a power roll. I can roll that for you.
Yeah, so
Nice. 43. So you got a regular success. Let me roll this one here. Let me roll power. Oh, geez. Not so good. That is, he got an extreme success, and you got a regular success. So,
not bad.
yeah, so your spell goes off. It does not, you do not overpower him, but something bad happens. And the bad thing that happens is you black out. And so Julian passes out here in the apartment. And we've got Marian and Gerald. You've got a dead body of Robert Blaine. You've got Julian passed out on the ground. Marian, you just smelled something familiar moving past you. And Gerald, you can hear the landlord approaching, as well as the sound of sirens coming from down the street. Gerald, what do you do?
I think Gerald, like, even as Julian's doing his spell and stuff, Gerald's trying to search the desk. I don't know what, see if, because this, I mean, it seems clear that there's, interference and this maybe isn't a suicide, but there might be evidence left.
Yeah, give me a spot hidden roll.
Famously very good at these. So close. I will just spend 2 luck
Spend
if
2
that's
luck?
okay.
Excellent. You find... you find a journal. This is a it's a journal. It's actually under the. It's not at the desk, but you go over to the bed. You're like, if I'm going to hide something, I'm going to hide it under the mattress. And you quickly look under the mattress, and you find a handwritten journal that once belonged to Daphne Devine. And upon opening the journal, a loose sheet of paper falls out. And this is the paper. It says, "Dear Mrs. Devine and colleagues, I write this note to congratulate you and your team on the splendid work you have performed so far. It is most impressive and goes to prove how ideal you are for this task. I'm also pleased that you all are having an enjoyable jaunt and wholeheartedly approve of your return trip to Cobb's Corners. Yours, Roger Harold." This journal, just to summarize, it reveals that Daphne Devine submitted her journal to Professor Harold with a view to her and her colleagues being sent back to Cobb's Corners, allowing them to collect more data and possibly more physical evidence of strange creatures said to be living in the mountains. It outlines the group's successes to date, explaining how Cobb's Corners locale is rife with local legends. Next, she details her plans for re-interviewing a local man named Jethro Cratchit in the hope of obtaining his grandfather's diaries, as they contain a wealth of folk tales he collected when working as a traveling salesman. Finally, the bulk of the journal is composed of the local legends that the group was able to gather. Why David Blaine, he's the magician, why Robert Blaine would have this, you have no idea.
None of it makes sense. Dear. Well, the police will be here soon. I suppose we don't want to be caught on another crime scene. I would not mention whatever it is you saw.
Yes, that sounds like a good idea. Can you help me with Julian?
Yes, of course.
No matter how hard you try to awaken him, he does not awaken.
Oh, I figured we would just kind of lift him up and...
Yeah, you're going to have to carry him out. There's 2 ways out of this room. There is the window where you saw the muzzle flash. You could go out the window and climb down the roof, or you can go down the stairs and probably run into Mr. Flanagan. Maybe get out before the police get there, but you're going to be carrying a body out of there.
Yeah, and he already knows we were here.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you get out of the house?
I suggest just using it'll be hard to carry him out the window.
Yeah, we'd have to, like, throw the body out of the window. Let's just...
You don't want him to land on his neck. Yeah,
it's not a good idea. We'll go down the stairs.
As you drag him down the stairs, Mr. Flanagan sees you and says, "Oh no! What happened up there? What did you see?"
Well, this is our friend. He's fine. Sir, I'm afraid there's been a suicide upstairs, and our friend fainted when we saw it. We haven't touched anything. We thought we'd leave it to the police, but he was traumatized. I'm sorry.
A suicide? How?
Yes, in the attic. Well, with a revolver.
Oh.
It was Robert.
Oh, poor Robert. Oh, bless that poor boy. I knew he had trouble with the drink. I've got to get that stash. Quick, Where was the stash? And I think it was Julian that said there was a stash
Yes.
there. Get the
Well, our friend's
crowbar!
unconscious.
He grabs a crowbar from the hall closet where he's got a broom and stuff, and he charges upstairs, and you can hear him ripping up floorboards as the police arrive.
Oh my gosh.
That's totally
this
going to
guy.
go over well.
They get arrested.
And you guys drag Julian out into the front yard. You're near the street. Do you want to stay here at the house or get as far away as possible? You can see the light of sirens, or the flashing lights of the police, and hear the sirens coming from down the street.
It's time to go.
Agreed. Yes, thank you.
You get him across the street and kind of out of public view. And as the police show up and go into the house, you can hear shouting, "Put down the crowbar! Put it down now!" And you only wonder what's going to happen to poor Mr. Flanagan, who looks guilty as all get out. And Robert Blaine dead in his chair. Mr. Flanagan ripping up the floorboards like he's going to try to hide a body. And that's where we end the session. So,
Intense.
let's do some improvement rolls. Let me turn on the investigator or development phase mode. Okay, if you guys want to try to get some improvements, you can click on the little gears, do the skill improvements. Well, Marian got her listen and spot hidden up, and a whole bunch of things did not go up.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like Gerald got 3 skills up.
Got some luck.
Is it possible to help me out with that one?
Yep,
Fine.
yep, I got you.
Cool.
I can do that for you. There is your development phase. You improved your English, you improved your natural world and your psychology, and you recovered 5 luck points.
Awesome.
Excellent. And looks like Arthur still did not get luck. Wow, poor Arthur. Gerald did not get luck. Jebediah did not get luck, but Marian and Julian did. Wow. Impressive. We are going to, as mentioned in the Discord, we're going to skip the next 2 sessions, if that's okay with everyone. We've got a few people that can't make it next week, and then one person that can't make it the week after. And rather than have anybody skip anything that's vital to the story, we just started chapter 2, and so today's a lot of kind of exposition and like setting up for chapter 2. Chapter 2 will be short. I think we'll probably finish it in 1 or 2 sessions. So rather than have anybody miss any of that, I'd rather we just put it on pause, and we'll get back together in November, so in 3 weeks' time from today. Is that okay with everyone?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Perfect. I will go ahead and stop the recording. I'll get this posted. Any questions about anything that happened today, anything that you're confused on besides everything? There's still a lot of like loose ends everywhere, but we're slowly kind of focusing in on what's going on. We know that a lot of the peoples that we had teamed up with, their personalities have changed. We know that the Professor Harold and Terrence Laszlo seem to be wanting to know something about David Blaine, about Robert Blaine, and now Blaine is dead in what appears to be a suicide, but we're pretty sure there was someone else in there. And then it sounds like Professor Albert Wilmarth is being hounded by William Noakes. It sounds like Professor Learmonth, Clarissa Thurber, Harry Higgins, and William Noakes are frequently talking amongst themselves, pushing some sort of false narrative about what happened on that expedition. And then Jebediah and Arthur have met with Henry Armitage at the library, who gave them access to a book, and it sounds like there is some sort of cult, perhaps, in Cobb's Corners, the cult of the Mother, and it is linked to some sort of extraterrestrial entities. And Professor Baldwin also learned from Albert Wilmarth that he had once gone to Vermont and spoken with a man who purported to have given his brain to strange entities from the 9th planet in the solar system, whatever that might be. Pluto had been undiscovered at this point in history. But that's where we find ourselves, and we will get back together in 3 weeks' time to see what happens after the death of Robert Blaine and what is going on with everyone else.